Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Dashcast. I am Curtis Dasch. Couldn't figure it out, and joined with me, as always, is my awesome co-host and roommate, Brandon Colago. Brandon, say hello.
Hey, thanks for watching, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, guys. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, give us some suggestions, let us know what you want to hear. But today, you're in for a treat because we're doing our NFL Week 2 pick'ems. Last week, I went 10-6, not my greatest week, and this week, I've already started 0-1, and we're gonna go ahead and start with the Bengals Browns game. Uh, I have to be honest. I'm pretty biased in this game. Everybody knows my disdain for the city of Cleveland. I'm not a big fan, and of course I'm going to pick against them because I'm a little bit biased. But the point is because I kind of actually trusted Burrow a little bit more. Now there were some throws he made last night in that game I did not enjoy, but as a rookie, you kind of expect him to do things like that. And there was one throw in particular, throwing to the end zone, trying to hit his tight end, I believe, um, in the end zone, and he got picked off by the safety just watching him. It might have been a corner, but it was a zone coverage. Just the guy's just sitting there like, oh, and Burrow looked at him the entire way. He didn't like look the safety off or anything like
hmm
that. And that's something. And the score wasn't as close as everybody thinks. Yeah, 30-35. Like the Bengals scored that garbage time touchdown with like 50 some odd seconds to go, and then
hmm
had to kick an onside kick. And onside kicks are just so difficult now. It's very very hard to like because you can't do running starts anymore. You can't overload one side. What are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing to panic about. Cleveland has a very talented roster, right? So it's to me not a reason to get off the Burrow train yet. He is just outmatched, honestly. It's a team game. I know that I'm very harsh on certain players, and it might seem like I'm not quite as harsh on other players, and I use the team game as a double standard. I get all that, but come on, it's the Bengals. What do you really want the guy to do? He's being harassed in the pocket.
Yeah, he did get hurt a
He,
lot, or not hurt, but he got knocked down a lot.
yeah, so, he's going to be on his back heels. It's going to be an adjustment period, when you're in LSU and you have the best talent around you, and the only thing they've ever missed was a quarterback. And then all of a sudden you give them a quarterback. Now they have the best team in the nation.
Yeah, throwing 60 TDs.
And then you put them on the worst team. I mean, give the Bengals a chance to, not play that good this year, get some good draft picks. They've already got the receiver, uh, they're pretty close. I expect us. I still am seeing an 8-8 season from them, somewhere around there.
And that's what I was getting ready to ask. You see them picking top five, or maybe is it top 10?
What do you mean?
The Bengals. Do you see them picking top five or top 10 this coming after the season's over?
I guess if I'd see it more likely top 10, but we could see it could be top five.
I mean, it
I
very
mean, the
well could be
Bengals the
top five.
Bengals are that bad, and it's not like they have a good organization or anything around them in particular. I don't feel like. So yeah, I don't see them like he can only do so much.
I agree. I agree. We'll go ahead and move away from that game. Let's. We don't have to talk about Cleveland the rest of the day, which is lovely. Let's go ahead and jump to the Falcons and Cowboys here. I don't think this is going to be too difficult of a pick, but I'll go ahead and let you have the floor here. Who you got?
I got the Cowboys. Probably maybe who knows against my better judgment. Partially also with my heart. Not that I'm a Cowboys fan. I just having Atlanta and Tampa Bay's division and me also picking Dallas. I think for my pick to be right as far as Dallas winning that division, they're not going to be able to start off 0-2. So I'm going with Dallas. I don't think that Dak is that much better of a quarterback than Matt Ryan. I think he's definitely a better quarterback. However, Matt Ryan will put up some numbers, so I expect to see more of a shootout type game. I give the advantage to Dallas overall, but not
Yeah,
by much.
I mean, I'm in the same boat. I've got the Cowboys. I'm not picking the Falcons. That being said, of course, I think I talked about him last time too. But Julio Jones, who I highly enjoy,
Mhm.
I love him. And your boy Gurley over on the Falcons, but I just I don't foresee them doing well. They're just not. There's not a lot really, and their division is tough. Their division
Mhm.
is so tough. So that's kind of an interesting thing. There's just no way that I really don't think Dallas loses this game, and it's a Dallas home game at that. So probably still no fans. 80% of the nation, on according to ESPN, there agrees with you and I picking Dallas. 20% are picking the Falcons. So,
Okay.
there's that. Well, let's go ahead and jump to the Bills Dolphins is the next 1 o'clock game. 95% of the nation is going with the Bills. I'm part of that 95%. What about you?
Same.
Yeah,
The
I don't.
Dolphins, I guess they make a habit of starting off slow and then kind of figuring out things together a little later in the year. I think we're going to have more reasons to see Tua sooner rather than later. This Dolphins team didn't look great, especially against a New England team that I don't think is great.
Yeah, and yeah, we'll get to them because that game on Sunday night is gonna be lit. Yeah,
Is it?
90. What's that?
Is it?
Oh my gosh, the Patriots and Seahawks.
I'm predicting the Seahawks
Oh, me too, but
handily. I'm predicting the Seahawks to win handily.
I'm okay with that though. But if we get a good game, we're jumping ahead a little bit. Let's wait. Let's wait because that's a game we can talk about for a little bit. Let's go ahead and do the Giants and Bears. The Giants, one of their receivers actually surprised me, and Saquon Barkley actually had a little bit of some heat thrown his way from Tiki Barber, saying the guy is big and he doesn't want to hit people, he can't pass block. And honestly, I haven't really seen a lot of good pass blocking from Saquon Barkley. Uh, that being said, it's not going to matter anyway. I really think the Bears will win this game. I don't really think the Bears are that great of a team. Just going to throw that out there, but I still got the Bears. What about you?
Did you take my notes? How do we? Yeah, I got the Bears also. I just, Jason Garrett, I don't see him putting together a game plan that ever beats Chicago because I'm pretty sure Trubisky last year looked like Lamar Jackson against the Cowboys. I expect to see more of the same. Danny Dimes didn't really impress me in that first game. In fact, he does just enough good plays to get the people excited, but not enough to win the game. I don't feel like Saquon Barkley is as good of a running back as people make him out to be. And I actually have the Giants receiver in fantasy that you were mentioning, and he did put up numbers. I'm not starting him because I still don't trust the Giants.
See, it's funny because I almost picked him up, and then I'm like, well, yeah, but it was one game. And
Mm-hmm.
now, granted, I am injury prone pretty badly. I've got Michael Thomas on one, and I think Mike Evans on the other. It's just not looking good at my receiver. Devontae Parker, like all these awesome players that I thought were gonna do so well. It's like they're all
Mm-hmm.
getting hurt. Let's go ahead and jump to our next game here. We'll do Broncos and Steelers. Broncos and Steelers. Who you got?
This one is the one game where I'm just kind of like, because the Broncos actually surprised me, and they were better than I might have anticipated. However, I still got to pick the Steelers.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's picking against Big Ben.
I need to
Not in
see
that
another
game.
game. I need to see another good game from the Broncos before I just, outright pick them.
Yeah, I'm not
And
much
it's
to say.
nothing to do. It's nothing to do with the Steelers.
It's
This
more to do
pick
with
had
the
nothing to
Broncos.
do. Yeah, I mean, because like they played good enough that I think that I'm on the fence, but I just don't trust them still.
So we're gonna go ahead and get to my favorite of the games coming out here. We got Packers and Lions. Packers and Lions, and it is a home game for Green Bay at Lambeau with no fans for the first two games. 97% of the country, including myself, is going with Green Bay for very obvious reasons. The Lions are pretty injured. I believe they've got three of their DBs are out this game. Now, I think we lost a lineman, a
Hmm.
D lineman or something like that last game too. But Rodgers is just gonna torch them for like 400 yards and another four TDs. I'm completely content with that. Is there any chance on this planet you're picking the Lions for this game?
Absolutely not. I do have Matt Stafford in fantasy though, so I'm hoping for a shootout, and I think Green Bay will win.
One can hope. One can hope. All right, let's go ahead and jump to the hometown team. We got to talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Tennessee
Mm.
Titans. The Jaguars are 1-0. The Titans are 1-0. Although that 1-0 on the Titans end, that was a pretty ugly
Sketchy.
game. Um, got a hot Jaguars team coming in. What are you thinking?
My heart wants to pick Jacksonville, but my mind just can't let me. I just don't believe what I'm seeing. I don't know how the Jags played so good, and maybe they're a better team than I realize. And I also have no faith in Gostowski. He missed some very big kicks. He made the gimme one, obviously. It was very easy. And if he didn't make that, he'd be out of a job right now.
I kind of forgot that we talked about
He
that.
yeah, we were supposed to do a reaction to that game.
I kind of forgot we talked about your boy Goskowski.
Yeah, I've never trusted him even when he was in New England. Brady put him in so many great spots to hit clutch field goals because they were in every clutch game that was played because they were in every Super Bowl. But the exact same thing in Tennessee. He's missing field goals, big field goals. And actually, the thing was too, like watching him in New England, even when he did miss, he didn't really look phased. When I watched him in this game, after missed those two, he was looking phased. He did not look confident. He looked deer in headlights. He making that field goal, I think, might have saved his psyche for him to actually drill a couple field goals. But I think he is possibly a basket case right now, and not because he's a bad guy, but because when you miss that many field goals with mental block and how competitive the NFL is, and how quickly I've seen kickers, really good kickers, deteriorate, that mindset's huge. And if you lose that edge, that swag, you're in trouble. So I'm picking Tennessee against my better judgment and against my heart, just because they've always had our number. I don't see all of a sudden that we're just gonna reverse that, but who knows?
Okay, so I'm looking at this right now. The Titans are actually favored by 7.5 right now, which is kind of to be expected. The over-under for that game is 44, which I thought is a little high, but I'd probably still take the over if we still see the Minshew we got from Week 1.
Oh, I'll take the under all day.
So, I mean, yeah, they only scored. The Titans only scored 16 points in that win. What is it going to take, you think, if the Jags pick up this win? Let's say Gardner Minshew has another great day. I'm not saying he'll go 19-20, but if he has another great day and the Jags win, do we start to believe in the Jags, or is it going to be every week?
Yeah, in playoff prospects. Yeah, and if they win against Tennessee team, because in my opinion that's the best team in our division, barely.
Agreed.
If we beat this Tennessee team, I'm going to start thinking playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, teams that start 2-0, I can't remember the percentage. It's like 80 some odd percent to make the playoffs, 83% or something like that. That's
because
great.
Usually you have a nice little division game in there too.
True. Obviously, I'm picking the Titans. I don't like picking the Titans. This is one of those picks again. I have no issue being wrong. I will take the hit on my record if it means the Jags pick up the W. But we'll move on from that. I didn't think that was going to be too interesting, but that turned out a lot more fun. I mean, the Jags are fun to talk about right now. I just hope they're fun to talk about after Sunday. Let's do Vikings and Colts. Another 1 o'clock game. Vikings and Colts here. Colts didn't really look all that good in Week 1. Who you got against them going against the Vikings here?
I got Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I don't see the Colts winning that game. Now, it is in Indianapolis. Maybe that might help.
Help Minnesota escape the weather.
I mean, they're a dome team
kidding.
Anyway.
It's yeah.
They luck out. Let's go. 74% of the nation agrees with you and I. Vikings as well. Let's go ahead and go Rams and Eagles. Now the Eagles, that's an interesting team, being 0-1 with Wentz throwing that 2 picks in that game. I got a lot of. Yeah, I forgot about that. See, that makes me so happy. Coming into this game, coming into Week 1, I actually thought Philly was going to be a pretty competitive team. They were going to do very, very well, and it turns out they're still just injury prone, and the same team we saw last year that just kind of lucks into stuff. Or lucks out of stuff, I guess I should say. 76% of the nation is picking the Rams. I am part of that 76%. Well, what about you?
Same.
Yeah,
it's not a lot to be said in terms of my trust in the Rams. It's more to be said in my distrust in Philadelphia and Carson Wentz. And, they won that Super Bowl, and they just feasted on it. And they, got cocky and complacent, and, now they're back to a average football team. And it only took a couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, I'm completely content with that. I think everybody knows my also disdain for most Philly teams in general. I don't mind the Eagles so much as I don't like their fans. Their fans are just insufferable. So any Eagles fans listening to this, you're kind of lame.
There's not a lot of teams that I dislike, honestly. I'm like the opposite of you. I give most teams the benefit of the doubt. I want to cheer for them in some way or another. Let's see, teams that I really dislike. Obviously, teams in our division, obviously.
Well, yeah, but that's a rivalry. That's supposed to be disliked. let's go ahead and jump to the Niners Jets here. Two more teams that I really couldn't care less about, but for Justin's sake, I know you'll probably listen to this at some point. 3% of the nation is picking the Jets. I would love to know how much drugs they're on, where they got them, and if they're deliverable.
They're all Jets fans.
Are 3% of people really Jets fans? Nah. Somebody's got to be betting just blind. There's no way. It should be like a 99% win for the Niners. Obviously, I'm going Niners. I assume you're in the same boat.
Yes, Niners. No second thoughts there. I still expect the Niners to miss the playoffs, but I think they will get a gimme win here. And if they need to, because if they do lose this game, I'm going to be right sooner than I realize.
Yeah, that's and there's another stat about teams that go 0-2. It's like the 11%. No, yeah, 11%.
It's I don't know about. I'm not guessing the stat itself. I'm guessing that if you go 0-2, I rarely see. I can't think of the last 0-2 team that went to the playoffs.
I can't either. I'm sure that it's one that we'd be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But let's go ahead and jump to your Tampa Bay Gronkaneers and the Carolina Panthers here. Who you got?
Tampa.
Yeah.
They need a win too. So let's now. Granted, I've picked Tampa. They're just the better team. I think that Bruce Arians and Tom Brady hopefully made up for Bruce Arians' just horrendously terrible comments towards the GOAT. And that
was bad taste.
Yeah, you can't call out individual players in general, let alone the GOAT, who came to play with your Succaneers team, and you had 10 penalties. I didn't hear him one time mention anything about the 10 penalties. We could have coached better. At least Belichick would say we could have played better, we could have coached better.
Yeah, he's not going to call out individual players.
Arians is just taking shots at Brady like it's Brady's fault that you couldn't coach the team up to not get 10 penalties.
Well, what's even funnier about that is I guess Arians came out a couple of days later and was like, oh, I went back and watched the film and it wasn't Brady's fault. Well, that's why you should just watch the film.
Mike, it
was Evans. I'm pretty
Mike
sure.
Evans is a 6'5" receiver, and granted, the cornerback safety that intercepted it is a stud, but I think he's like 6'1", 6'2". Yeah, you put the ball up for your 6'5" big man to go and get it.
Yeah.
So, that's what I was telling you is some people stat preserve, and I'm not going to name any names, by not throwing up those risky one-on-one balls that your receiver should catch. This is a prime example of when it doesn't work out for the best.
Of the podcast.
It hurts your stats, and, that to me, in my opinion, is not a bad decision on Brady's part. That's a good decision, but a bad play on Mike Evans' part.
Yeah. All right. Obviously, I'm going Tampa Bay. I'm just gonna move on from here. I'm just gonna go. All right. So we got two surprising 1-0 teams. Well, maybe not super surprising considering our dark horses before the season. But first of the 4:00 games, we got the Washington Football Team, which blows my mind that they don't have a name still. I think it's stupid, but anyway. And the Arizona Cardinals. 88% of the nation is going Cardinals. It's at Arizona. Who you got?
Yeah, Arizona. No question.
Yeah, I don't think that will be nearly as close of a game. Maybe. Well, no, I don't. I don't think so. I really think Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins will have another great game. Kyler Murray is just going to get better, playing with these, an awesome receiver and another awesome receiver in Larry Legend, and in the running game in Kenyon Drake. Nothing negative to say there. We got two more 1-0 teams at the 4:25 game. We got the Kansas City Chiefs and the Los Angeles Chargers for their home opener. For LA and their brand new stadium. It'll technically be the second game in SoFi, but it'll be the first game as the Chargers home game. 97% of the nation is going with Kansas City. Is there any chance? Is there any chance the Chargers win this game?
I literally thought it was going to be 100% of the nation. Yeah, Kansas City. I feel bad for the Chargers in this game. I don't even want to watch this game.
I mean, this is one of those I wouldn't mind being wrong, so my Mahomes pick. I mean, I'd love for Mahomes to just go out there and throw like 7 picks, because I would just have a field day, but it's not going to happen.
I had to go and I could see. I mean, LA does have a good defense. It's possible that game where Mahomes sucked it up against the Colts last year, that could happen again. He's usually is good for about one choke of the season, but no, I'm shocked that it wasn't 99% of the people voting on Kansas City. But like I said, I guess maybe there's 3% of LA fans too.
Yeah, well, that's probably that's the amount they normally fill their stadium, so that sounds about right. Let's go ahead and jump to Baltimore and then Houston. Excuse me. So we have a 1-0 Ravens team. Nobody thought that was gonna. Obviously, we all thought that was gonna kind of be the case. Texans being 0-1. After it's kind of like a new look after David Johnson. I thought I was a little higher on him after week 1 than you were, which was funny because you were higher on him before week 1. That's a good little swap.
I'm very picky.
And rightfully so, because normally you're not wrong when it comes to it. So you got a 92% Baltimore Ravens is what everybody's going with. Are you in that boat?
Yeah, that's fair. I in the first game when Houston played Kansas City thought that more people should have given Houston the benefit of the doubt to play well, but because of what actually unfolded, hindsight 2020, now I'm going to look at this game with the expectation that Baltimore wins handily.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and jump to the Sunday night game here. Patriots, Seahawks. 85% of the nation is going Seahawks, 15% going Patriots. I'm part of that 85%, of course. Any thoughts on the Seahawks and Patriots?
Yeah, I think if people are expecting this game to be close, I think we're going to start seeing some blowouts in the direction of, they're going to be in
getting blown out.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, let's see what happens. If the Patriots make this game close, I'm going to start to be a little worried about my pick as far as the Patriots doing badly this season.
We'll see. So the over/under for that game is 45, which kind of interesting. And the Seahawks are only favored by 3.5 right now. If Cam Newton has
I take the Seahawks. I easily would do that.
I mean, I'm thinking if Cam Newton has a heck of a game. Now, he didn't throw for any touchdowns. That's one thing that a lot of people are, I guess, kind of forgetting for some silly reason. He went 15-19 in that first game, $155, but he had 15 carries for 75 yards and 2 TDs. Now, Wilson, Mr. Unlimited, unfortunately, 31-35, 322, 4 TDs. Right. We all know he did super well in that game 1. If Cam Newton can throw for a couple of touchdowns and run for a couple of more, this might not go well for Seattle. I'm still not picking the Patriots, but that's the only way. Josh McDaniels has got to get Cam Newton to throw, because you're not going to be able to do that quarterback draw stuff forever. You're going to get beat up. He'll get hurt again. That's just kind of my thought on it. Any closing thoughts on the Seahawks before we jump to the last game?
Yeah, easily, if you're betting, I'd take the Seahawks on the over. The 3 points easy. Yeah, I would give. Honestly, if I was betting, for me to second guess anything, it'd have to be like 8 points or something, like more than a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. It'll be a game. New Orleans and Las Vegas. It's Las Vegas' home opener in their new stadium, nicknamed the Death Star, which is kind of cool. It is a pretty neat looking stadium from what I've seen. 88% of the nation is going with the Saints. Where are you going and why?
Saints, and only because I don't trust the Raiders. I actually do think that the Raiders can play this game tough. And the Raiders do usually have a knack for winning a couple random games where you're like, oh, really? They beat that team? But I guess I don't see that. That's going to be a pick that I'm never going to guess. It's just going to happen one week.
It'll end up being, who knows? There might be a favorable matchup. I'm going Saints here, but it is interesting to note there isn't, like I said earlier, no Michael Thomas for at least 3 games. That'll mean kind of, I think Cooper still on the Saints, or is it Emmanuel Sanders? Emmanuel Sanders, I mean, who's over on the Saints. He's gonna have to step up and have a big game without Thomas being there. That offense is gonna need Drew Brees is gonna have to spread the ball around. Gonna have to have
Cooper
that defense
more carries.
Yeah,
or passes, I should say.
Yeah, and
more
which
touches.
Is great because I'm a fan of Cook, and we were playing Madden and I got blown out by the Saints 2 games in a row, so that was fun. Video games are great. But all right, guys.
In Madden for sure.
All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and cut this off here. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, give us some suggestions. Give us your pick'ems. Tell us who you got, and tell us why we're wrong or why we're right. We would love to hear from you. We'd love to chat about it. We'll catch you guys in our next clip.